another breakdown of UFC 295 Prochazka versus Pereira. What a goddamn card we have. One of the best cards of the year. One of the best main events of the year. One of the best co-mains of the year. One of the best pay-per-view main cards of the year. Just so much shit I can say about this card, and I'm going to say a lot. I am so hyped for this card. There's so many good fights. Like, banger after banger after banger after banger. It's just an amazing card. It's an MSG card, so they always try and stack it up, and they succeeded. Of course, they lost to Jones and Stipe, but fuck, did really downgrade? Fuck, a lot of people say we upgraded. I don't agree with either statement. I think we still have a great card either way. I don't think we upgrade or downgrade. But what can you do, man? So, yeah, we have an amazing fucking card here, and I cannot wait. I don't know fucking what to say out besides that. So, only thing left to say is, please like, comment, subscribe. 50 subs go by the end of the year. We're only 20 away. We finally hit 30. Thank you. And unless we're going to say something, we have 13 fights to break down. This is probably going to be a long fucking breakdown because a lot of these fights I have a lot to say because I'm so excited for most of them. But let's talk about some fights. Are you ready? I don't think we're going to say anything. So let's talk about some fights. I'm so excited. Rare time I'm actually excited to record. Not that I don't enjoy recording, but I do. I am actually very excited for this. So let's start with the first fight of the night in the featherweight division. We have Dennis the Great Buzukja versus Jamall Pretty Boy Emmers. Pretty good fight, really. Pretty decent fight to be in the night. Two very decent fighters. I'm interested to see how this is going to go. So, let's just start off by talking about Dennis Buzukja. Dennis in the UFC is 0-1. He came in on short notice to fight Sean Woodson earlier this year, and he looked good. Let me refer to that. I'm sorry, I was thinking about a different one of his fights. He looked pretty bad without a full camp. He did step in on very short notice, maybe a week, being generous. He had very little time to step in, so he didn't look very good. And Woodson's a tough debut for anyone, let alone on short notice. So, yeah, he did not look great. But now he has a full camp fighting in MSG in New York, where he trains. I think he's gonna look better. Because he's been in Contender Series 2 times, and his second performance, I think, should have got him a contract. He looked really good here. I don't know how he didn't get a contract. It was very questionable decision making that he didn't get a contract. Because again, I think he looked really good, but he did get one eventually, even if it was on short notice. And now this is his first real fight. So, and his only other big time loss is Nosek Bagdasaryan, who's great. So, he's only lost to two pretty good fighters. So, and he beat everyone else, and not great records, but 7-5, 6-4, 9-5, 6-1. Not bad. Yeah, I'm excited to see Dennis on a full camp. I think dude does have potential. Goes to a great gym like Longo and Weidman, Sarah, whatever. His striking's good. He goes to that gym, so you're gonna have good ground game. I think he's gonna do good with the camp. I don't know. Does he win for sure? I don't know. But I definitely think he's gonna look better with the full camp. Because I think that was much needed in his last fight. He looked kind of slow, sluggish, he missed weight, all of that shit. So, I really think a full camp's gonna really help him in this fight, and you never know, could get him the win, so. But, yeah, that's about what I have to say about Dennis, since this is really his debut. And it's good for him to start to open one of the biggest cards of the year in New York. Good for him, man. Good for him. To talk about his opponent, Jamall Emmers. Jamall in the UFC is 2-3. His 2 wins, Vince Camacho and Kushi Kushin Ashkabov. His 3 losses are Giga Chikadze, Pat Sabatini, and Jack Jenkins. A lot of people say he should be 3-2 because he got robbed against Jenkins. I don't know if I would say robbed, but I definitely think he probably should have won that fight, but whatever, it was a close fight. So, and if you look at the other 2 wins, he beat a Can and a Can, so at least he can do that. And then his 2 other losses, Giga Chikadze, can't get mad at that, let alone he went to a split with him. And Pat Sabatini, who is on the card later, he's very good, so. Jamall's kind of an underrated fighter. Like, he's very good. He's very well-rounded. He's not a bad fighter in the slightest. He's very solid. But the bad thing, like, he gets a nice win or 2, and then he loses, even if it was a questionable decision. Or some shit like that. Like, so, and he's not a bad fighter. You don't go to a split decision of Giga Chikadze if you suck. You don't have a really close fight with Jack Jenkins if you suck. Well, I think Jack Jenkins is a little overrated, but whatever. So, I think Emmers is a very underrated fighter and a very good fighter. And you can have a very good performance here. He can really knock off Dennis in his real debut and start off the night in a fucking away game, fighting Buzukja in New York, which is Buzukja's definitely gonna be the chaired one here. He's definitely gonna have an away game here, and we'll see how it goes for him. Emmers is good. He's good. Good striking, fine ground game. Actually, pretty good ground game too. He's well-rounded. He's very well-rounded as a fighter, so it's gonna be interesting to see how he looks here. The betting odds for this fight have Jamall Emmers minus 270 to plus 220. I would move the odds down a big amount. Like, I think Emmers should be the favorite, but I would say maybe minus 150 to plus 120. I get why the odds are like that. Buzukja looked terrible in his last fight, but again, that was short notice against Sean Woodson. This is a full camp in New York against Jamall Emmers. I think it's a pretty decently sized difference here. So, I'm interested in this fight. I think this fight can go many ways. Emmers could just be the veteran here and pick him apart, like Woodson did to an extent. Someone could look good on the ground either, or could really do good work on the ground. Let me see the size different. 1 inch, 4 each, got it. Buzukja can have good work on the feet. I think this fight's gonna be interesting. If Emmers comes in here underestimating Buzukja, like a lot of people are, it might be a really long night for Jamall. But if the moment's hitting Buzukja, or he's just not that good, maybe he's a fraud, then Emmers is gonna beat him up. So I think this is a very interesting fight, and I'm excited. I think it's a really good fight to be in tonight. Gotta start out with a New York boy. You got 3 of them on the card, and he's the lesser of the 3. So start the card off him. And again, Emmers is very good. Good for him to get a good matchup like this, and yeah, the only thing left, who am I picking? This is gonna be a lot of times on the card where I have no idea what I'm doing, pick-wise, especially main events. For this fight, I think I'm leaning Dennis Buzukja. I think at home on a full camp, he's gonna really show up and show out, but it's far from confident. I won't be shocked if Emmers picks him apart. I won't be shocked at all. But I think Buzukja has talent. I think he could really rise up to the moment here, and if he does, I won't be shocked. But I won't be shocked if he doesn't either. It's doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. Like, if I pick Emmers, Buzukja is gonna show up and look great. If I pick Buzukja, Emmers is gonna just look amazing. So, I don't know. I think I'm gonna lean with Dennis Buzukja here, the hometown hero, to start the night, the first of 3. I think he's going to get the upset here, look good like he did on Contenders and all that, and I'm gonna pick him to win this fight. Am I confident? Like I said, no. But let's start with the New York boy to begin the night. I think he does have talent. Just give him a full camp and see how he does. So, yeah. My pick here to begin the night is the underdog, Dennis Buzukja. And I'm going to go by decision. I hide out. He's going to finish Jamall, the only person to is Pat Sabatini, and that's Pat Sabatini. Giga couldn't, and I hired out Buzukja on Wool. But I am still going to pick Buzukja by decision. I think you can get the win here. Close fight, or more likely it'll be a close fight for Buzukja, and if he wins, then like Jamall could dominate him, I won't be shocked. But I'm going to go with Buzukja here, so that's my pick. Dennis Buzukja by decision. Begin the night with a good fight. Never know what can happen, right? We'll see what happens. Good fight being a night. After that, we head to the flyweight division for a pretty fun fight that could be a real barn burner to early on the card. It will be overshadowed later, but still could be a really good fight. As we have Joshua the Fearless Van, versus Kevin Borjas. I did not forget to say his last name. I'm just not going to. Pretty good fight here. Like, in the main reason they're doing this fight is this was meant to happen on the Contender Series this year, but they pulled Joshua Van from that fight to fight Zhugas Zhumagulov short notice. So I'm happy they rebooked this fight. It's a really great fight between two good prospects, and I think it's gonna be a fun fight. So, yeah, let's talk about Joshua Van to be first. Josh in the UFC is 1-0. Coming in at short nose, he looked amazing against Zhugas Zhumagulov. That's a terrible split decision, trust me. Yeah, he looked great. He really showed speed. He showed good striking, quickness, good gas tank, ability to beat a veteran. He looked really good. He, 21 years old, to do that to a guy like Zhugas, who, yes, the record is very, overshadowing how good he actually is. And, like I said, Van looked amazing. Like, pretty a clear win, 29-28, maybe 30-27, I don't remember it that well. But I do remember it was a pretty clear win for Josh Van, and he looked great. So I'm definitely interested to see how he does in this fight and against another really good striker. Because Zhugas is a good fighter, but he's not really a great striker. Borjas is a good striker, so I'm interested to see how Van does, especially fighting someone who's pretty quick like him. This is gonna be interesting. Very, very interesting fight because, again, Van's now fighting. He got to debut jurors out the way, but that's all. Maybe he hasn't because this is an MSG. He's like, it's not much to say. I'm trying to think of anything I can say about this Van because this is the second fight. I can't have much to say, but I'll just stop rambling. Van's very good debut, but I'm interested to see how he does against someone his speed or close to. So, very good striking. Ground game was okay from what I remember. I'm interested to see how he looks here. I'm very interested. Talk about his opponent, Kevin Borjas. Borjas coming off the Contender Series, got a win and a contract. He looked very good in that debut, or not debut, but that Contender Series fight. He showed a lot of heart. He got beat up some, but he did come back. He was a giant underdog, plus 300 as you see, and he looked good. His striking looked clean, his gas tank looked really good. He was able to go 15 minutes really well. This was week 1 no less, so yeah, he looked good against dude again. Clearly his mental loose too, and he did, and he looked really solid here. I think he stepped in on short notice, no less, to fight someone else. I think he stepped in, and Van had to pull out. Yeah, oh no, my bad, Van stepped in. But yeah, Borjas impressed me on the Contender Series. Looked decent, but now how does he do in the UFC fighting someone a lot better and someone really good like Josh Van? I'm interested to see that. So yeah, not really much to say. His striking is also very good. His ground game might be the better of the two, but we'll see. Just a really, really good performance. Just two dudes coming off really good performances here, and I'm very interested to see how they look. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Joshua Van minus 240 to plus 190. I get it, but I'd move Van down a little bit to maybe minus 190. 2 plus 170 or whatever. I think there's a lot of factors in this fight. Like, 2 young dudes in MSG, 1 in their debut, 1 in their second fight. Two really good strikers, quick-handed fighters, decent ground games. I think Borjas is the better ground fighter. It's an interesting fight. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. Definitely, I could see being probably one of the best prelims on the card. And I think it'll be a fun one. I really do think this could be a really entertaining fight, and the only thing left to say is who am I picking in it? I'm gonna go Josh Van. He beat a better fighter in not better fighter than Borjas, but he beat Zugov Zumagulov, a veteran, and looked great doing it. He's already got the debut jitters out the way, something Borjas has not. And I think his quickness might be too much of a problem for Borjas. Like, what's the size difference? 5'5". So Borjas has a little bit longer reach, but it's only like 3 inches. So I think it's gonna be interesting, but I think Van can pull it up. If he beat Zugov as easily as he did, I think he can win this fight. And it's gonna be a tougher fight, I think, but he should be able to win it. So yeah, my pick here is going to be Joshua Van. I think he can just land a better shot and win a decision here. So my pick is Joshua Van by decision. I think the fight can go pretty much either way, but I'm leaning Josh Van, so that's what I'm going to pick. So yeah, Joshua Van by decision. We'll see. Can he spoil the debut? After that, we had to our third fight of the night, the battle between 2 veterans, no young dudes in this fight. As we had 2 bantamweight, or catchweight. Why the fuck is it a catchweight? That has to be a glitch. No way. It would be maybe it's not a glitch. But either way, who cares? Our third fight of the night in the pretty much bantamweight division, we have Mr. Perfect Kung Ho Kang versus Sexy Mexi John Castañeda. This should be an interesting fight. Let's talk about Kung Ho Kang first. Kang, the veteran of the really big veteran of the two. In UFC, he is 8-3-1. His best wins are Guido Canetti, Dana Bagarel, and Christian Quinones. His losses are Chiro Camis, Ricardo Ramos, and Rani Yaya. And he had a no contest with Alex Casares. I'm not sure. I'm guessing someone popped for something. So, yeah. Very interesting fight here. Sorry if that was loud. Kang, I've underestimated Kang a few times, especially in his last 2 fights, and he looked good. He pretty much dismantled Dana Bagarel pretty easily, like was not too difficult at all. And then he ran through Christian Quinones, a dude I was very high on. I thought was gonna be able to get the win. Nope, he crushed him too. So he's really on a nice roll right now, and beating 2 pretty good fighters back to back, looking pretty good doing it. Impressive. He is 36 years old and he's not very active. Like this is the most first time he's fought pretty quickly in years, since 2019. So, and he's not a bad fighter. His striking is fine. His ground game is really good. So, very interesting there. But again, the age, it definitely I think gonna catch up to him eventually. And again, he's not the most active fighter. So maybe that'll fuck with him more. Maybe fighting again pretty quickly will be good for him. So who knows? But yeah, he's fine. Like, he's a pretty fine fighter. He's on a nice roll right now. 2 really nice wins back to back. His 2 best wins in the UFC. And yeah, I think he's just a fine fighter. Good test for anyone, especially someone like John Castañeda. And I'm interested to see how he does here. So yeah, we'll see if the 36-year-old can keep up his winning streak. Not very much more to say about Kung Ho Kang. To talk about his opponent, John Castañeda. Castañeda in the UFC is 3-2. He's only had fucking 5 fights. It's crazy. His wins: Eddie Wineland, Miles Johnson, Muim Gaffarov. His 2 losses are Nathaniel Wood and Daniel Santos. For his wins: Eddie Wineland, you should be beating him in 2021. Miles Johnson, not a bad win. That's aged pretty decently. And Muim Gaffarov, I think that's a good win. Gaffarov, and that was a tough fight. And then his 2 losses: Nathaniel Wood's great, and Daniel Santos is very good. So I like Castañeda. I think he's a very underrated fighter. He's very skilled. He's just, like, every time he gets that, like, big fight that would push him to a bigger fight, he loses. Nathaniel Wood, I'll give a pass, but Daniel Santos, that was not great. Like, and, like, he really needed that one big win to get him into, like, rankings or close to. Like, yeah, you can win 2 in a row, but when you lose to someone, that kills all your momentum. Now, let's say he wins these 2 in a row. Let's say he wins the Kang fight. He has 2 wins in a row. Then he goes up and fights another pretty decent fighter and loses. Then he's just in a fucking hamster wheel at that point. So, Castañeda has a lot of talent. Good striking. He's very tough. His ground game is fine. He's good. I mean, we've seen all of that. Like, in his last 2 fights, he showed toughness and he showed heart. In both, and that Gaffarov fight was a war too. Gaffarov made him work, and he worked his way to win. So, he's a good fighter. I like Castañeda. I do think he's a talented fighter. He just needs to be able to put it together consistently. He goes to a good gym. Like, he's only 31 years old. He's a good fighter. He just needs to be consistent, and I think he can really. I don't think he can be ranked at bantamweight. He's not that good, but he could definitely hang around with your Davy Grants, Said Nurmagomedovs, Kyler Phillips, guys like the unranked, like, top guys. So yeah, I think Castañeda is good, and I hope he can show up this fight because he should win this on paper, but you never know with Castañeda. The betting on 3 fight of John Castañeda -140 to +120. I agree. I think that, like, if you want to move Castañeda up a little bit, maybe to -160 to 70, sure. But overall, I agree. Castañeda should be a favorite, but not like a -200 or anything. He should be a favorite, but nothing crazy. He could lose this fight. Striking, they're very even. I would say both are good strikers. I think Castañeda holds the power, but Kang might hold the technique. Ground game is definitely Kang's world. So, this is going to be interesting. Castañeda definitely wants us to stay on the feet, and if it does, I think he can win this. But you never know. Being 5 years younger definitely will help. So, but Castañeda had a good amount of fights also, so he's no spring chicken. And I think this is an interesting fight. I'm very interested in this fight. I think this could be a good one. And who am I going with? I'm gonna rock with John Castañeda. I think he'll be able to get a win here. Fight better, fight smarter, get the win, get 2 in a row, and then move up and fight someone better. He should be able to do that. Kang's not a world beater, but he's not a bad fighter. He'll test Castañeda for sure. And I think Castañeda will be able to pass that test with flying colors. So, yeah, my pick here is going to be John Castañeda. I think he'll be able to just work him on the feet for 15 minutes and get the win. So, yeah, my pick here is John Castañeda by decision. Work on the feet well for 15 minutes. Maybe even drop him and go home with a W. So, yeah. Castañeda by decision. I could see Kang winning, but it would be A, boring if he did, because he probably doesn't take him down, and B, he's 36, man. It's gonna catch up to him eventually. So, yeah. Not really much more to say on that. And for our last early prelim, a pretty whatever fight. Like, it's a fight, but it's not gonna be no fucking amazing fight. As we have Patty's daddy, Jared Flash Gordon, versus Mark the Olympian Madsen. I guess he's not Mark O. Madsen anymore. And, yeah, fine fight. 2 veterans. Never know what could happen. Let's talk about Jared Gordon. Jared in UFC is 8-4-1. His main wins, Danny Chavez, Joe Selecki, Paddy Pimblett. His losses are Diego Ferreira, Charles Oliveira, Joe Quinn Silva, and Grant Dawson. You can't get mad at really any of them. Maybe Joe Quinn, but the rest. And he had a no contest with Bobby Green, headbutt, the usual. Gordon's a fine fighter. Like, he's nothing special, but he's not, the most passable fighter you can find. His striking is fine. His ground game is fine. He's just fine. Like, he's never gonna do much, but, he's never gonna be able to beat a Diego Ferreira or a Grant Dawson, but he can always beat a Danny Chavez or a Paddy Pimblett, so, or Leonardo Santos, I would name that one. Joe Selecki's a pretty good win. That's his best one, I would say. Selecki's very good, and I'm kind of shocked he did win that fight. So, yeah, Gordon's fine. He kind of hit a roll for a while, 3 in a row, then lost, and then he won 2 in a row, and then he lost to Bobby Green. So, well, my bad, he had no contest, which kind of killed his momentum a little bit. Plus, he's been off for a minute, so, but he's back now. He is 35, which is not the best thing in the world, but whatever. He's fighting another old dude, so it's not the end of the world for him in this fight. So, yeah, overall, Gordon's fine. He looked fine. I've underestimated him enough times to know he's not a bad fighter. So, yeah. Now to talk about his opponent, Mark Madsen. I want to say, oh, Madsen so bad because that was his name for years. Whatever. Mark Madsen in the UFC is 4-1. His 4 wins: Danilo Bilardo, Austin Hubbard, Clay Guida, and Vince Pichot. His 1 loss is Grant Dawson. For a while he's looking okay. He's got he was able to beat these bad fighters. Guida gave him a real fight, and that decision could have went the other way. But what can you do? It was still a good fight, and they gave it to Madsen, not a robbery, just could have went the other way. And then in his last win, he beat Vince Pichot, which is not a bad one. All he did was he was just able to keep him on the ground for 15 minutes. But then in his last fight against Grant Dawson, he fought another wrestler, one who's better than him, and he couldn't do anything. So he got destroyed, and he lost his undefeated record. But he's back a year later to try and pick up some steam again. Mark Madsen in a nutshell is somehow Merab, but shittier. He has no striking, he has no gas tank. That's one difference from Merab. And all he wants to do is wrestle you. The bad thing, he has no striking to set it up, and he has no gas tank to last for fucking the whole fight. So he's very beatable. And I think Clay Guida exposed that for a minute, but then Pichot fell back into it. But then Grant Dawson completely ripped that curtain off and showed why Madsen's just not very good. Like, he can't strike, his gas tank's garbage, he's just not a good fighter. And I think it will really show in this fight, if he can't look that good against Gordon, who, yes, not a good fighter, but even Jared Gordon should be beat. So I think that'll be an interesting one. 2 veterans. But yeah, really nothing to say about Madsen. He's just shitty Merab. And Merab's already shitty as is. So, yeah. The betting odds for this fight have Jared Gordon minus 200 plus 165. I agree. Gordon should win this fight. He gave it on the feet, outstriking for 15 minutes, go home. That's interesting. Yeah, he should be able to just outstrike him for 15 minutes and get a win. I don't see why he wouldn't stop the takedowns early, gas him out late. Even if let's say he loses round 1, he gets taken down, Madsen will be tired, and then you can just jump on him. So, yeah. Gordon should and probably will win this fight. Just not going to be the greatest fight in the world, but what can you do? So, yeah. My pick here is going to be Jared Gordon by decision. Keep it on the feet. Gas him out, win. That's it. Pretty simple. Jared Gordon by decision. Very simple. My most confident pick so far. Madsen's just not good. So, yeah. Well, the early prelims, not bad. Good opening fight. 2 good fights in the middle, and it ends with a pretty lame fight, but can't all have bangers. But then you head to the main card, which is or the prelims, my bad. The prelims, which have some bangers on them. I'm very excited for them, so let's start talking about them as we begin with a banger in the lightweight division. 2 young great strikers, as we have Nazim, the Black Wolf Sadykhov, versus Viacheslav, Slavaklaus, Borshchev. Very fun fight here. 2 great strikers. Let's talk about Nazim Sadykhov. Nazim in the UFC is 2-0, even though that probably should be 1-1. He had a very close and controversial fight against Evan Elder, and then he beat Terrence McKinney in his last fight. So, pretty good 2023 from him. 2 wins, could be 3, even though, again, that Elder fight was very arguable. But, yeah, I think he's down on 2 scorecards, but whatever. And now he's fighting Borshchev, so he's fighting another really good striker like himself. McKinney's a good striker, but he wanted to wrestle that fight. And, yeah, Nazim's not bad. He's still a little green, that Evan Elder fight showed, but overall he's not a terrible fighter. He's 29, he also goes to Longo and all that, so he's gonna be good on the ground. And he's a solid fighter. He's nothing special about him. He's fine. He can win some fights. He has good striking. His ground game is fine. His gas tank is alright. He's fine. Like, there's not too... Like, if he gets better, good. But right now, I think he's just a fine fighter. That's all I can really say. Striking's good. Ground game's fine. Yeah. To talk about his opponent, Viacheslav Borshchev. Slavaklaus in the UFC is 2-2. His 2 wins, Dakota Bush and Machete. His 2 losses, Merk Diakase and Mike Davis. For his 2 wins, he was able to keep it on the feet and destroy. And for his 2 losses, he was out-wrestled. Slavaklaus is a good fighter on the feet. He has no ground game. Maybe it's gotten better, but I doubt it. He really did not have to wrestle with Machete at all, so we really didn't get to see it. He has talent. He's a really good striker, but his gas tank ain't good, and his ground game is terrible. So, yeah, very not the best fighter in the world, to be honest. And yeah, and definitely a dude I've sworn off picking it to an extent because he's untrustworthy as shit. So, yeah. I think, like everything I say for Nazim outside the ground game stands for Slava. He's very green still. He's a great striker, but gas tank is worse. Definitely the worst of 2 gas tanks. He goes to a good gym. He trains with Faber and all that, Team Alpha Male. So he's a good fighter with good teammates, but he's very green, and it shows. So, I don't know. Slava's good. Very fine fighter. Not much to say. What I can say is putting these 2 in a cage only produces fireworks that I can't wait to see. 2 hungry young dudes about the apex for the first time in a while. For Nazim, the first time ever. And I think it's going to be a great fight. 2 really good strikers going to go fucking swinging for the fences. I think this could be interesting. I think this could be a really interesting fight, and I'm excited. The bang odds first, I have Nazim Sadykhov minus 140 to plus 115. I've moved Sadykhov up to minus 160, a little bit bigger of a favorite, just because like they're both good strikers. So if this was just a striking match, I'd probably have him pick 'em. But since this is since this is MMA and you can get takedowns, I think Nazim gets a little boost because he does have that in his pocket. Borshchev just has striking and a bad gas tank to add on top of that. So, very interesting fight here, and I think it's going to be a good one. My pick here is Nazim Sadykhov. I think he'll be able to, if shit gets too tough, he'll be able to get to the ground and probably win a decision. So, my pick here is going to be Nazim Sadykhov. I think he can fight smart, get to the ground, and win. So, yeah, that's going to be my pick. Nazim Sadykhov by decision. Pretty good fight to open the prelims. After that, I'm not going to waste your time here. Rębecki is going to crush Roberts, lock of the night. Respect to Roberts for stepping in a short notice, but it's going to be the easiest one of Rębecki's career. So my pick here is Mateusz Rębecki by knockout in the first, lock of the night. Next. Oh boy, this is when the card really starts. One of my top 4 most hyped fights for this card should be on the pay-per-view, but whatever. Get to watch this fight for free. Well, $5 for ESPN or whatever. A banger in the strawweight division. I can't wait for this fight. So excited. We have a banger between the baby shark Tabatha Ricci versus Loopy Godinez. What a fight. Wow. It's hard to put into words how good this fight is. This is some of the best matchmaking I've ever seen from the UFC, I swear. Just 2 fighters that match up perfectly. And I'll break down more at the end, but let's talk about the baby shark first. Tabatha Ricci in the UFC is 4-1. Her 4 wins: Maria Oliveira, Poliana Viana, Jéssica Panay, and Jillian Robertson. Her 1 loss is Manon Fiorot. She has gotten better every fight, it seems. Like, kind of. She looked. I'll talk about the Manon fight in a second, but in her 4 wins, she looked phenomenal against Oliveira, as you should. She looked okay against Polly. That was not her best performance. Excuse me. She looked phenomenal against Jéssica Panay. She looked good against Jillian Robertson. So, she's just a really solid fighter, and nothing really to say about her debut. All it showed was her toughness, because she fought up a weight class against a top-level flyweight, so, yeah. Ever since she moved back down to her real weight class, she's looked phenomenal. And, because she is a phenomenal fighter. Like, her ground game is, really good. Like, she's really good on the ground. And her striking is getting better. Like, the Jillian Robertson fight, the fight we've had to see the most of her striking, and she looked good. Her striking looked very good. I think it was very passable. And she outstruck Robertson, who, yes, is a shitty striker, but still, she was able to outstrike her and won a pretty good decision against a veteran, so she looked good. And she's just, like I said, she's just a really good fighter. Like, she's just very solid. Her 3rd fight this year could cap it off with a great win, and she's really making a stride up the division. Because, again, she's just a really good fighter. Only 28 years old. She's getting better. Definitely a name to keep an eye on in that division. Because she's just really good. But you can say the same. You can say everything I just said for Tabatha for Loopy. Because it's fucking true here, too. Loopy in the UFC is 6-3. Her wins: Celia Gomez. Well, really, she's 7-2. Fuck, I actually say she's 8-1. My bad. I think all her wins are Jéssica Panay, Sylvia Gomez Suarez, Luana Carolina, Luma Lukbumi, Ariana Cornelosi, Cynthia Calvillo, Emily Ducote, Elise Reed, and her only real loss is Angela Hill. Robbery, but whatever. That's what I think. Sorry about that. Loopy, like I said, everything I said about Tabatha's skill set, I can say here. A great ground fighter. Her ground game is vicious. She gets you to the ground and mauls you. Her striking is very good. She's another well-rounded, great fighter. She's a little older, 30, and she has a little more experience, but still, she's a great fighter. Like, she's not really, like, her best win is Emily Ducote, which, And the weird thing with Loopy, she's had really off performances. Like, she's had amazing performances, like the Sylvia Gomez and Cornelosi fights. And even the Luke Boomy fight was a good one, but then you had, like, pretty bad performances like Calvillo and Ducote. Like, this should have been one of her best performances, and she looked pretty bad against a terrible fighter like Cynthia Calvillo. So, very disappointing performance here. And then Ducote was not a good fight. But then she really just said, fuck you, I'm still great, and looked amazing against Elise Reed. One of the most vicious performances we've seen all year, I think. Just kicked her ass from the minute the bell rang to the minute he ripped her off her corpse. So, yeah, she's just an amazing fighter. And she also had to win against Vanessa Demopoulos before she got to the UFC, which is another good win. So, she's just a really good fighter. And she matched up with Tabatha really well. Tabatha matched up with her really well. So, yeah, not very much more to say. You have two amazing fighters here, and they really cancel each other out to an extent. Their ground games are both amazing. For the first time ever, I might actually say I want to see this fight hit the ground, because I want to see who does better. You got two really, really, really good fighters. And then on the feet, which I think where the fights are really going to take place, who's the better striker? Because these two are not known for striking. The little striking we've seen from Ricci has looked alright, and the little striking we've seen from Loopy, well, we've seen more striking from Loopy, and it's not really that much better, it's just fine. So, it's very interesting, this fight. Like I said, I would say top 4 best fights on the card, in my opinion. Since the moment this fight was announced, I think, I was like, holy shit. And I'll say, this should be on the main card. This is a pay-per-view level fight. So, and I'm not gonna say anything about the betting odds. This should be a pick'em. I don't know how you can pick a favorite in this fight. They both are amazing. I don't want to see either lose, because someone's gonna lose momentum and fall down the rankings. But whoever wins, oh fuck! I can't wait for this fight, and I don't even know who to pick. I could see good points for either side. If I have to put in a pick, I have to do. I think I'm leaning Tabatha Ricci. I don't know why. There's no reason. I'm trying to think who has a better gas tank. It might be Ricci. Loopy has a good gas tank, but she's definitely in the Calvillo fight, she was gassed by the end. So I don't know. I guess it's Ricci not really having that off performance. Loopy has. They happen just this year. These are bad performances. So I'll chalk them up to off nights, but if she has an off night here, it's gonna end. She's not gonna be able to squeak away a win. I don't know. I don't want to see either lose, but I think if I have to put in a pick, which I do, I think I'll put my pick in on Tabatha Ricci. I don't know. I just want to see a good fight, and I think this will be an amazing fight. I can't wait, and anyone who tells you this is a bad fight or anything like that is a fucking idiot. Don't listen to them. One of the best fights on the card. Amazing. I can't wait. I'm gonna go with Ricci, but I don't care who wins. Have a great fight. Can't wait. I can't sing this fight's praises enough, and I will keep doing it until it happens. So, yeah, nothing more to say. Can't wait. And to end the prelims, we have a banger in the flyweight division, even if the feature prelim should be the Ricci fight. But we end the prelims with a banger, a short notice replacement, we'll talk about that in a second. But we have Steve, Astro Boy, Erceg versus Alessandro Nono Costa. Costa is stepping in for Matt Schnell, who pulled out last week, I believe. So, pretty good replacement. I would say maybe a better one, because I think he's a better fighter. Schnell's just more entertaining. But yeah, we got a banger fight here. Two great prospects in the flyweight division. A lot like the Joshua Van fight. Not Van and Borjas ain't there yet, but they're two great prospects. These two are really good prospects. So, yeah. Let's talk about Steve Erceg. Erceg in the UFC is 1-0, coming off his debut against David Dvorak. He looked phenomenal. He showed heart, had a great fight, entertaining, got a ranking off the win. He looked great. As an underdog on short notice, he looked great. He's only 28 years old, and he looked phenomenal in his debut. So, a lot of promise. He's a very lengthy fighter, very explosive fighter. He's very good. Very, very good. And I'm definitely interested to see how he does in this fight. A lot tougher of a fight, I think. Dvorak's not very good. Dvorak's tough, he's not that good. Costa's gonna really test Erceg, and I think it's gonna be interesting. So, I'm excited for this fight. I'm excited to see how Erceg takes this test, especially on short notice. So, yeah, not very much to say about Erceg. He's only had one fight, but he impressed me in his debut with everything. He looked very well-rounded, striking, grappling, everything he looked good at. So, he showed a lot of heart, which is always good to see, and like that, he looked good. To talk about his opponent, Alessandro Costa. Alessandro is 1-1 in the UFC. In his UFC debut, he stepped in on short notice. And got crushed by Amir Albazi. And then in his last fight, his first real fight, in my opinion, he beat Jimmy Flick easily. Pretty much I'll say he's 1-0 in the UFC too, because you stepped down short notice against Amir Albazi. What the fuck do you think's gonna happen? So, but in his first real fight, he looked amazing against Jimmy Flick. Like, he tore him apart for 6 minutes, kicked his legs to shreds, outstruck him, and then finished him. Like, he looked phenomenal. He's a really good fighter. He trains with, I think him, Loopy, Godinez, and Diego Lopes all are like very close teammates and all that, which is, I get it, they all are great fighters, so that makes sense. And Alessandro's good, man. He's good. His calf kicks are deadly, his striking's good, his ground game's good. He's good. He's just a really good fighter. Definitely a dude I won't be shocked in the rankings one day, maybe even after Saturday night he will be. But yeah, he's great. Really good prospect in the division. I'm excited to see how he does in this fight. Great fight here. The betting odds have Steve Erceg minus 160 to plus 130. Yeah, I would say. Erceg, both are really good, but I think Erceg's impressed me a little more, beat a little bit better of an opponent, and he ain't stepping in on short notice. He's been on this card the whole time. Costa has not been, so... But this is a great fight either way. Like, no matter who wins, you get a nice prospect to get a W. Sad thing, whoever loses takes an L, but it happens. I'm excited for this fight. I think it's going to be a really good one. Striking-wise, I think it's going to be great. Two really good strikers. On the ground, I think it's Costa's fight, but Erceg is also good down there, so I don't know. I think it's going to be a really entertaining fight. Two very even opponents. The big difference might be its size, though. 4 inches in height and 1.5 inches in reach is a big factor, especially if you are on the ground, so it's gonna be interesting. And who's my pick? I think I'm gonna lean Steve Erceg. I think he'll be able to fight at range, fight smart. If it gets into a war, I think he wins that. Goes to the ground, I think his length can keep him up. And I'm gonna go Steve Erceg in this one to get the win. So my pick here is going to be Steve Erceg by decision. I think he can defend his ranking and put up a good performance against a tough opponent. But you never know. Costa's also very good. He can really destroy your legs quick, and you never know what can happen. But I'm going to lean Steve Erceg here. So yeah, my pick here is Steve Erceg by decision. Should be a good fight. Should be a really good fight. So there are the prelims. Pretty much outside the Gordon fight, and it's all good fights, and I'm very excited. And really just a solid fucking prelims. But then you hit the main card, the star of the show, the what the fuckery. This is gonna be amazing. I cannot wait. Banger, 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 banger. Let's start off with a banger. Get right into the main card. Already been 49 minutes on the prelims. Jesus, the main card's gonna be insane. Let's break down the main card opener, which is Pat Sabatini versus Diego Lopes. Let's talk about Pat Sabatini. Sabatini in the UFC is 5-1. His wins are Tristan Connolly, Jamall Emmers, Tucker Lutz, TJ Laramie, and Lucas Almeida, and his one loss is to Damon Jackson. Outside of that Jackson loss, Sabatini has looked pretty much flawless. His striking is pretty terrible, but his ground game is just so smothering that you don't know what to really do. He just fucking smothers you, and you're kind of already beaten. Like, in all of his wins, that's all he does. He gets you to the ground, smothers you, and he either finishes you or grinds you out to a decision. So, he's very good. He needs striking, but he's very good still. And in a Damon Jackson fight, he got caught with something and got finished. So it's not, I say a fluke more than anything, but whatever, what can you do? He's a very good fighter. He's very good. He's underrated, I would say, but he needs some striking. If he can't just keep going without no striking, because eventually you're gonna fight someone who can stop your takedowns or is better on the ground than you. So he really needs to get some striking. He's 33 years old. This is the best moment to climb the rankings. Get some hands, bro. But yeah, Pat's very good. He has a good gas tank. Chin's questionable, but yeah, well, he's really good. But to talk about his opponent, who is insanely good, Diego Lopes. Diego in the UFC is 1-1. His one win is Gavin Tucker, and his one loss is Mateusz Rębecki. Of course, we know in his UFC debut, he stepped on short notice against Mateusz Rębecki and looked amazing. He just kept throwing up submissions, almost finished him like 25 times. Fucking looked amazing. Striking, ground game, everything. He really put on a show. And then his last fight, he got his first win against Gavin Tucker. Tucker shot in, from what I remember, and Lopes just caught him in an arm triangle, or in a triangle armbar, and subbed him. Like, you don't want to be on the ground with this guy. He is scary good, and I think I know he is Grosso's and Irene Aldana's wrestling coach, if not more fighters, so I know at least those two. And I would want to learn from him, because goddamn is he good. Like, he seems that if you're on the ground with him for a second, you're getting submitted, or you're getting something thrown on you, because god damn, he's just really good. He's only 28. He's really good, has already a shit ton of fights. And again, he's just really solid. His striking needs to get a little better, but besides that, he has good power, and you don't want to be on the ground with him. So, yeah, man, Diego Lopes is just really fucking good. And I think he's gonna show that again this weekend. So, yeah. I'm a fan. I think the kid's great. The bands for this fight are actually not near even, because I looked today, and Sabatini's becoming a small favorite, around minus 120. Actually, minus 125, 130. Why? I would have Lopes a favorite here. I would have Lopes like minus 150, 160. On the feet, he's 10 times better, and he's not even that good of a striker. He's just 10 times better. On the ground, yes, Pat does smother you, but Diego knows how to throw up those submissions like a fucking psychopath. Plus, he's taller and has a bigger reach, which is huge. I don't get why people are favoring Sabatini here. Like, the only way he wins is just smothering Lopes, which, do you really think he's gonna do that for 15 minutes? Evloev couldn't. Why would Sabatini? And I like Pat Sabatini. I think he's a very underrated fighter. I don't see it going well for him here, so, yeah. But my pick for this fight is going to be Diego Lopes. I think he'll be able to catch Pat with or in something. And yeah, that's my pick. I'm going Diego Lopes by submission in the first. I could see Pat shooting in, getting guillotined, and that's that. So yeah, my pick here is Diego Lopes by submission. The kid's really good. A legit problem in that division. Holy shit, now we go on to this fight. Oh, what do I have? Matt, the Steamroller Frevola versus the God of War, Benoit Saint-Denis. Holy fucking shit. On any other card, this is fight of the night. But it has to be on the same card as Yuri and Alex. Oh my fucking god, man. I can't even imagine what's gonna happen in this fight. Someone's gonna drop. I don't know who. I'll do a short Cliff Notes version, because I can't do justice to this fight. Frevola's on a real run right now. He had some missteps. McKinney, Armand, two good fighters. But he's on a real roll right now. Almost killed Gennaro Valdez. Ended Atman Azaitar. And somehow cracked Drew Dober's chin. He's just really finding a way to win nowadays. They're trading and he's getting the better of it. He has fucking bombs in his hands. I still think his chin's a little questionable. I want to see. He's not really, Valdez did hurt him, even, I think, twice in that fight. I think Dober even clipped him once or twice. Not good, so. Frevola's good, man. Frevola's really fucking good. Somehow, he grew a chin, even though, I still think it's probably pretty dusty. And he's just finding ways to win, which is respectable. And who doesn't like Matt Frevola? Dude's just a fucking good guy. So, yeah. And then we have Benoit Saint-Denis, the fucking Terminator himself. He's had 5 fights in the UFC, let's be honest, really 4, because his debut was a light taps at Ricci's, up a weight class and short notice. And he almost fucking died, because that ref wanted to see him get fucking murdered, but he didn't. And he came back with a fucking vengeance. Nicholas Stoltz beat up. Gabriel Miranda destroyed. Ismael Bonfim ended the hype. Thiago Moises killed. The dude just does not give a fuck. He will run through anyone, anywhere, anytime. He's a fucking killer. And I don't know if he feels pain. The shit I've seen this dude take. Zaleski beat the shit out of him. Maybe a 10-7 round, and he just was like, whatever. He won round 3. Thiago Moises hit him with some hard shit, and he just laughed it off. Fucking, dude, he's not human. I get he did that special forces stuff. Goddamn, I didn't know that made you the goddamn Terminator. Damn, man. I can't wait for this fight. 5 of the night on any other fucking card. And I agree with the betting odds. Benoit should be a favorite here. He should crack Frevola's chin. I really don't see Matt winning any. Matt's the only way of winning is either cracking Benoit's chin. Good luck. Good luck, Matt. Or wrestling him, which Benoit's really good on the ground, so that's not gonna work either, I don't think, so. He's a bigger guy, probably the stronger guy. I don't think that works either, so good luck, Matt. You're gonna need it in New York. Good luck. I don't want to see either guy lose again, but if someone has to, I'm going to pick Benoit Saint-Denis to win this fight. I would love to see Benoit get ranked. He deserves it. He's a fucking beast. And I would love to see Benoit win. So, yeah, sorry, Matt, but I think your shine might, your flicker might be broken by this psychopath. So, yeah. My pick here is going to be Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm going to go by knockout in the first. I don't even know what to think about this fight. I don't know what's going to even happen. I'm excited though. So, yeah. I can't wait. Fucking war. I'm going with the God of War. Benoit Saint-Denis by knockout in the first. Someone's going out. I don't think it's going to be Benoit. After that, we head to another banger on the card. Maybe not to the extent of the last one, but still a very good fight, I think. As we have a battle of two OGs, even though they're younger than some fighters, some other highly ranked fighters. As we have Jéssica Beta Estoca Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern. We'll talk about Beta Estoca for the 5th time this year. I'm breaking down all of her fights. 5th. Kevin Holland shit. God damn. I don't need to break down Jéssica Andrade. We all know Jéssica Andrade. I'll break down her last 5 fights though, or her fights this year. She crushed Lauren Murphy to begin the year. Then a month later, she stepped on a short nose to fight Erin Blanchfield and didn't look bad. She won round 1, arguably, but then got submitted. Then a couple months later, she fought Yan Xiaonan and got clipped and knocked out. Even though I think an early stoppage, whatever. And then a couple months after that, she stepped in on short notice and fought Tatiana Suarez. That went as well as you think it did. And now, a couple months later, she's fighting Mackenzie fucking Dern. All respect in the world to Jéssica Andrade for taking these fights. The Jan and Lauren Murphy fight, sure, fine, cool, you're probably gonna take those anyway. But stepping in on short notice to fight Erin Blanchfield and Tatiana Suarez, probably the best fighter in their respective weight classes, is fucking insane, and all respect in the world to Beta Staka. Andrade is the female BMF. She does not care. Anytime, any place, any moment, she's going to fight. She's only 32 somehow. I don't get it. But who isn't a Jéssica Andrade fan at this point? She only has good fights. She never has a boring fight, win, lose, or draw. She says yes to anyone at any moment. She's just she seems like a cool person. She's a great fighter. Just can't say enough good things about Beta Stoka. But the one bad thing I can say, she needs this win. Yes, a lot of people, me included, can write off this and this as you stepped in a short notice against a killer. But a lot of people might not. And taking 4 L's in a row is detrimental to any fighter on earth in the UFC. So she kind of needs this win, man. And a desperate Jéssica Andrade might be the scariest Jéssica Andrade. So, yeah. A desperate Andrade might be a deadly one. And then to talk about her opponent, Mackenzie Dern, who somehow looked like the greatest fighter to ever live in her last fight. Dern in the UFC is 8-3. I'll talk about her last fight. I don't want to break down Mackenzie Dern. In her last fight against Angela Hill, she looked like a brand new fighter. I would have never guessed I would watch Mackenzie Dern look that good. Her striking looked amazing. Her ground game looked great. Her gas tank looked great. Her fight IQ looked better against someone like Angela Hill, no less, who's known for having good fight IQ and all that. That's insane. Like, how the fuck did she just flip a switch and said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna be a top fighter now? I'm confused, but whatever. Good for Dern. Dern's always had talent. She's just never been able to put it all together, and now she did. If she can keep this run up, it's going to be interesting. The one bad thing is, what if she falls in love with the striking? Because her striking looked amazing in her last fight. How she did not finish Angela Hill, I don't know. But if she falls in love with the striking here, especially here against a desperate Jéssica Andrade, she could be looking up at the lights really, really quick. She wants to get this to the ground. Andrade might be strong as shit, but this is the 5th fight this year. She's already been subbed twice. So, yeah, Dern wants to get this to the ground. But if she looks like good, if that Hill fight was not a one-hit wonder, then maybe I should shut the fuck up and just let her do her thing. Because I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. The Banthers fight, which I can't believe I'm looking at these odds and they're actually real. Mackenzie Dern minus 200 against Jéssica Andrade. What the fuck is the MMA in 2023? Is it bad that's not even bad? That's actually pretty accurate? That's the crazy part. That's realistic. It's not insane to say that. How? I'm fucking Jesus. MMA in 2023 is insane. And I'm going with Mackenzie Dern, not even biased or anything. I'm literally going with Mackenzie Dern to beat Jéssica fucking Andrade. If you would have told me 2 years ago, I'd be saying that. I'd be like, you're fucking insane. What? I'm going Mackenzie Dern here. Andrade has had a lot of damage taken this year. She's gonna be desperate, which could be good or bad. I think could be good for her. And she's fighting another grappler. So it could go really bad or really good for Andrade. I'm gonna say it probably goes pretty bad. So yeah. But my pick here is going to be Mackenzie Dern by decision. I think she will be able to just, if she somehow keeps on the feet and wins, all praise. If she fucking takes to ground and wins, I'm not shocked. This is gonna be interesting. I don't even know what to think. I think this is a good fight. I know a lot of people will tune out during it. I'm not. I'm excited. I want Mackenzie Dern by decision. I can't wait. And then, after that, the co-main event of the evening. On short notice, for John Jones getting injured, the UFC made this banger co-main event for the real UFC Heavyweight Championship. Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. Wow. Like, we all knew this fight was gonna happen eventually. I had not seen it happen already. And I'm so happy it is. Oh my god, I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be fucking insane. Fuck, I can't wait. Where do I start? I'm not going to go deep into each's careers. I think that's a little silly. What I will do is just talk about the cliff notes. Sergey came back about almost 2 years ago now. Beat up Shamil Derehimov after a long layoff. Then crushed Derek Lewis, Taito Ivaza, and Curtis Blades. The dude has fucking bombs in his hands. He's a good striker. His gas tank, questionable. His wrestling, questionable. But that striking, nothing to question. If he touches your chin, you are laying on the canvas out. He's really good. Tom Aspinall had made his debut, beat up fucking... Did he fight anyone after? Oh yeah, he beat up 2 cans to start off his UFC career. Then he crushed Andrei Arlovsky, crushed Sergey Spivak, crushed Alexander Volkov, no contest, and then crushed Marcin Tybura in his return. He's a gangster. His striking's phenomenal. His ground game's phenomenal. Power. I don't even know what to fucking say. Like, this is like, people are saying this might be the the most talented heavyweight fight ever. Great fighter, striking, power. No real ground game as we know of, a great ground game. They're very young, 30 and 31. These two are the future of the division. Thorogon sucks. Giles Almeida sucks. Everyone else sucks. Jones is gonna retire. Stipe's old. These two are the future. And right now, we might... I would say we'll probably see a rematch in a couple years. But who's gonna take over the division for right now? I have no fucking idea. I love that the odds are pretty much correct. This is a pick'em. Who do you favor? The dude with great striking, or the dude with great striking? The dude with good power, or the dude with good power? The young dude who looked phenomenal. The young dude who looked phenomenal. Jesus fucking Christ. I'll put in a pick, and I'll tell you who I am going to put my pick in for, but I don't care who wins. Like, I just want to see a banger fight, and I think we're gonna get a banger fight. So, that's all that matters, but who am I going to put my pick in for? I'm gonna say Tom Aspinall. I think that a lot like, who was it earlier on the card? Nazim Sadykhov. A lot like Nazim Sadykhov, he has something Sergey doesn't. He has that wrestling in his pocket. As we know, Sergey doesn't, because he might, I don't know. But from his last time we saw him on the ground, he does not have good ground game. Aspinall does. They're about the same size, 2 inches taller for Tom. Jesus, that reach advantage for Pavlovich. They're gonna weigh about the same. I'll give Pavlovich a advantage here. He's been on this card. He's been training for this card. Aspinall said yes on 20 days notice or whatever, 2 weeks ago. So he's not going to be as ready, but I think he still will be ready enough. He's not bulking himself. He's going to get like 4 minutes to fucking get ready. So I can't wait for this fight. I think it's going to be fucking mental. And I think I'm going to go And I'm gonna put my pick in for Tom Aspinall, but I have no fucking idea who's gonna win. I'm gonna just say Aspinall. Do I care? No. Do I just want to watch a great fight? Yes. So I'm gonna put my pick in as Tom Aspinall, but I don't fucking know, and I don't care. Just have a war, boys. I know you will. What a great co-main event. And then we have this crazy shit. A fucking a real-life Viking versus a real-life Aztec warrior. Psychopath versus psychopath. Fight of the year? Oh, I'm only talking about Yuri Prochazka is back versus Alex Poatan Pereira. What? For the vacant, really, Yuri. Kind of underrated thing. Yuri really should just be defending the belt here, but whatever. For the vacant UFC light heavyweight championship of the world. My head's going to fucking explode. Yeah. Banger. Fight of the year. I don't even know what to say for this fight. There's nothing I can say. I don't think so. Yuri Prochazka, 3-0 in the UFC. Crushed Uzdemir, crushed Reyes, won the best fights with Glover, and somehow won. Alex Pereira is Alex Pereira. Came in, destroyed some dude. Then had a close fight with Bruno Silva, but that was quickly proven to be a fluke. Crushing Sean Strickland. Then beating Izzy, fluke. And then beating Jan. Not the best part against Jan, but still beat him. What the fuck is going to happen in this fight? This is even hard to predict because you don't even know what these two motherfuckers are going to do. I don't even know what Yuri is going to throw. Punch, kick, knee, anything. Yuri is so fucking insane. I don't even know what he's gonna do, and I don't even know how Pierre's gonna react to it. Dude, this is one of the most insane fights I've ever seen booked, and we're really going to be watching it in a day from when this goes up. A day. What? Or did I say Viking? Samurai. My bad. We're literally watching a samurai versus a fucking Aztec warrior. Huh? What the fuck? The bang odds are stupid. This is a pick'em. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know who to lean for. I'm guessing I'll lean for Yuri, but I don't know. I don't want to see either guy lose. I'm a fan of both. Just have a great fight. Someone go out cold. I don't even know what to say. Whoever wins is... Dude, Jamall Hill is hating life right now because he has to fight the winner of this shit. No, I'll go down a different weight class where someone else can fight him. I'm good. I quit. Thank you. So all respect to Jamall Hill for vacating the belt and making this fight for the real belt, because without him vacating it would be for the interim. So respect to him for that. And I'm so excited for this fight. It's hard to even put into words at this point, as it should seem pretty clear that I can barely speak English at this point. So, I can't wait. I think anything on earth can happen in this fight, and I think anything and everything will happen, so I can't wait. Let's have a war, fight of the year, knockout of the year, something's gonna happen. This ain't going 10 minutes. If it maybe 15 if you're lucky, someone's going out cold. I have nothing left to say. I have nothing left to say. Just have a banger. Boom! There's the card. I broke down some fights. I just am hyped for others. To go over my picks one last time. Dennis Buzukja by decision. Joshua Van by decision. John Castañeda by decision. Jared Gordon by decision. Nazim Sadykhov by decision. Lock of the night, Mateusz Rębecki by knockout in the first. Tabatha Ricci by decision, I guess. Steve Erceg by decision. Diego Lopes by submission in the first. Benoit Saint-Denis by knockout in the first. Mackenzie Dern by decision. Tom Aspinall? Question mark? I don't care. Yuri Prohaska? Question mark? I don't care. There's the card. What can I say that you don't already know, or what I didn't say? Like, one of the worst fight on the card is this, which is not a good fight. This is a good fight. Could be a great fight. This could be good. This could be great. This is gonna be a nice knockout. This I can't wait for. Fourth best fight on the card. This could be a banger. This will be insane. What the fuck's gonna happen here? Great fight. What the fuck? What the fuck? What? Jesus Christ. Can this card come any sooner? I'm gonna have a heart attack before even watching the shit. Dude, I don't even know how to feel. We're gonna go from, I'm gonna have a heart attack watching Pavlovich and fucking Aspinall. Fuck. Frevola and Benoit. This card needs to be called UFC 290 Cardiac Arrest. Cause god damn, man. My heart's gonna explode by the end of this shit. I don't even know what to think anymore. Can we just get to this card, wrap everyone in fucking bubble wrap, throw them in a cage on Saturday night, and see what happens? I can't wait. You can't wait. If you have a pulse and you know what you're talking, if you have more than 2 brain cells, you can't wait. Let's have a great card. I know we will. Maybe card of the year even. I won't be shocked. So, but yeah, I guess that's all I have left to say, unless you want to hear me ramble for another hour. So, before I give myself a fucking aneurysm, I'm going to stop this and just get ready for the fights, man. I can't wait. And yeah, nothing really more to say besides, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 50 subs to go by the end of the year. Tell me your picks down below. Tell me what you think of the fights. I'm interested. Any way anyone can look at these fights, I'm interested. I'm excited. I can't wait to recap this card Sunday 1 p.m. EST or Monday 10 a.m. EST. More likely Sunday because it's gonna be so crazy. I might have to record Saturday night. So we'll see. And yeah, I cannot wait. Gonna be a great card, and let's have a great card. Last thing to say, unless we're gonna say something which I don't think I am. As always, RX. Out. What could I say besides, let's have a great card.